Please welcome on stage Zeid Shubailat, who will be shedding light on the future of IT cloud power.
صباح الخير. أول شيء أنا بدي أحكي I'm so impressed مع حسني عشان this is the first time أنا شفت a presentation مثل هيك اللي انحكت كلها بالعربي. ما بخفي عنكم قديش أنا بلاقي الصعوبة الواحد يرجع يحكي about technology ويحكي فيها باللغة العربية. especially هلا لما نحكي عن الكلاود كومبيوتينج نحكي فيها يعني الحوسبة السحابية. جربنا مرة بالسنتين نقعد وكنا عم نعمل بريزنتيشن للحكومة إنه نيجي نشرح إنه شو الكلاود كومبيوتينج بس كلياته بالعربي. أظن لما طلعنا بالأخير أنا ما كنت فاهم إيش هي. فعشان هيك خلينا I'm going to go to the language in IT اللي I'm more comfortable with. So welcome to the future. And I'm serious. شو معناته? What do I mean when we welcome to the future? Isn't today the tomorrow that we talked about yesterday? So let me expand. From professional aspects, and I've been in the computer industry for the past 20 years, from a professional. I've been dealing with computers before that. The last 14 years of them صاروا كانوا مع Microsoft. And the majority of the time I've been on the technology side. And even though I've moved on from the technology to more on the business side of things, I have this passion about technology. What is technology? What it provides you? Technology it's an enabler. It provides us the ability to innovate, to create. We are the creators within this field. The nice thing is اللي صار كمان إنه the world has also changed. Technology keeps on changing. It changes from one to the other, and there are people and companies that keep on pushing the envelope on this one. إحنا نتمنى إنه بالأردن the companies and the people here كمان are the ones who start contributing to the revolutions that are happening in IT. That's the only discussion about revolution. It's going to be revolution in IT. Okay. So let's go down a trip down memory lane, the history of things. So in the 70s and 80s, looking 40 years ago, there was first the mainframe. بلشنا with the mainframe. This was the sole ownership and it existed only for large companies. Individuals, مثلنا, we did not have access to the computing power. After that, so there was the client-server revolution, or it's the PC revolution. This happened in the 1990s. All of a sudden, we had a personal computer. We had the ability actually to run some sort of software on these computers. And the birth of the productivity tools as we know them started. When we look back and we think of what are these productivity tools, Microsoft has been there from the beginning. Office came to play. Word processing. They were the precursors to Office. And then with Microsoft Office, with Word, with PowerPoint and Excel, all of a sudden had all of these productivity tools, all the information at your fingertips, the power of computing at your fingertips. But all of a sudden صار paradigm shifts. People started wanting يكون عندهم the same power that they have at home, they want to have it now at work. Although we just mentioned and we talked about the consumerization of IT, really the consumerization of IT is something that started when people like you and I started getting access to the power of technology. To tell you أحكي لكم قصة. In 1993 أنا كنت بأمريكا، صار لي كنت متخرج كم من سنة. And was sitting there كان عندي a CompuServe account. إجاني some email text, download this browser, something called a browser. أنا ما كنت عارف what is this. Couple of clicks, المودم كان لعنا at that time بأمريكا 2400 baud. 2400. تخيلوا. حطينا هذا تركنا ونستنيته لثاني يوم until it came in. Then type in هذا كيف install ما install. صبت alright, let me run it. This thing started. طلعنا عليها. I'm not following. I clicked. Okay, interesting. رحنا على another page. Click again, another page. وبعدين وقتها مش عارف لأي سبب I'm going to choose something. وخلينا أحط بالتايتل. كنت شايف إنه www.something.com. قلت خلينا أغير هاي بالنص. فكر إيش اللي عم فكر. خلينا أحط France.com. All of a sudden I go to رحت على a page that contains French information and information about France. قلت إيه؟ غير كمان مرة. حط UK. So more information came up, different information اللي حتى in the look and feel ما كان له دخل بالناس التانيين. قلنا so all of a sudden it dawned on me. إجت إنه الفكرة إنه oh my God تعرف حياتنا is going to change. And I've said this many times before. The web and what pushed the web has a similar effect of what the printing press did to knowledge. The ability to share all of this information. هلا بس كمان what also happened? When you start looking and you see, we have now the ability to access all types of data from anywhere. And where did this all come from? It came from the whole notion of standards. Standards were now introduced. If you go back and you look at the client-server component, every client and every application لازم ينعمل له a specific type of installation. You have to deal with it. You have to manage it. غير protocol. It was difficult. Hello, all of a sudden standards started to kick in. Now we can start accessing these things. Of the first things that you start accessing to are now we can access our emails, our line of business applications. We can share some information. And all of a sudden, the data centers started to expand. There are more servers that are needed and more servers that were put into these data centers. Then, so in the early 2000s, when the internet bubble burst. By the internet bubble burst, right? There were a lot of companies that were said, they were overvalued. Now we do so much things on the internet. أي شيء إذا عم ببيع بطاطا or whatever all of a sudden you have a valuation of $1 million or $10 million. That went away. However, the importance and the change that happened, the ability to access your information, access line of business applications and enabling standards didn't go away. ولكن the money went. The money started to put some pressure on businesses. So what to do? So some great companies out there started innovating. They started thinking, well, how can we use the same piece of hardware? Every time you want to actually use you want to create an application, you go buy a server. عشان تتأكدوا this doesn't conflict with this and doesn't conflict with this. عشان every application requires its own platform. It requires its own security needs. It requires so many things. To have conflict. So virtualization was born. Virtualization itself is not a transformation, right? And it didn't really change the way the applications were delivered or anything. بس لقوا طريقة to take these applications and to put them in a virtual environment on the same hardware, right? All of a sudden now you can start actually driving the utilization and the efficiency by using the same hardware component. We didn't have to buy as many hardware, as much hardware as before, and we started utilizing it utilizing the resources that we have a little bit more. But what virtualization did do, is become a key driver in the efficiency of IT, and it became a strong foundation of what came next. So we'll go back and we say, so what is this transformation? Obviously Husni touched on this one. I think you already know what is this one. But we have to explain what it's all about. So it is about IT as a service. So what do we mean as IT as a service? It is really where the internet meets IT, and all the efficiency that have been created by this whole internet have been poured in. It's difficult, maybe I will explain it a little bit more. So you remember when we talked about the different applications that now could be accessed through the internet? We still said they were separate. They needed separate components, separate platforms. Yes, they were virtualized. But we still had the limitation. So the limitation was the actual hardware that was running on. So what happens if you need more, right? What if there's an increase of capacity that you just needed? To explain, imagine this. Imagine if you can deploy a global application in just a few hours instead of months. Think is that you have companies, maybe you're operating in North Africa, Middle East, and Gulf. If it's virtualized application, why not you have the application that's sitting on that piece of hardware in that country. If you want to do an update or you want to do anything, then you still have to actually access that and do a deployment across all of these things. That's a problem. Imagine if you don't have to worry anymore about whether you have enough disk space, memory, or CPU. You don't have to worry about it. Khalas, it's all taken care of. And then imagine if you have a self-service system that works the way you want it to versus you working the way it wants you to. Do you want IT to work for you, or do you want to work for IT? That's a question that needed answers. So in IT as a service, it includes a number of things. It includes what you see on the screen here, right? So public cloud productivity solutions, اللي Husni touched on. So when I say productivity solutions, I'm talking about the office type of solutions. How do I communicate, collaborate, share, interact, right? And then there's also the public cloud platforms. Platform, I think of this, you know what, and I want a database. I want a database now. I want to write, I'm a developer, بدي أكتب a nice application, whether this application is going to run on all devices, on Windows, or on Android, or on iPad, but still at the back end, I need a platform, and I need somehow to communicate with something, get data, right? Public cloud platform solutions offers a platform as a solution. So then the other question becomes, what about, now we don't want to use public infrastructure. We love all of the things that we just saw, but we want to use it in our data centers. So there's the private cloud solution. I know what you're going to say. Data center. We didn't go back to the normal data center that you actually know of right now. What you have gone to is a dynamic data center that understands your needs and can actually work in the way you want it to, where you want it to work. This is the whole notion of IT meeting the internet. Really, it's all of a sudden IT as a service. فكروا كيف ان electricity راح ارجع لموضوع الكهرباء and electricity, but the IT becoming a service. Whenever you need it, I need the ubiquitous access to information technology now, not tomorrow, not after you buy hardware. مش بعد ما نعمل 20 عطاء ونلغي العطاءات. Now, I need access now عشان I have a business, because I have a need. I have a business need. So these come from the three different models of cloud computing. Infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. So let's break these down a little bit. Infrastructure as a service, I provide capacity such as memory, CPU, hardware, some of the security components. All right, that's the infrastructure component. Platform, I want to provide database services. I want to provide database services without me having to go acquire a license, acquire hardware, set it up, put it on the internet, configure the communication. Everything, all you have to do is worry about what is the business application. And then software as a service. An example of software as a service can be email, right? You look at Hotmail, right? Hotmail is a software as a service. There are a number of other ones that we will touch on. But see, it's the software that's already exists for you just to come in, you consume. If you go and you sign up for Hotmail, do you have to do anything? غير username and password? Username, password, and that's it. So cloud computing is changing the very definition of IT. Now, if the conversation, if IT is changing, and it is changing, then the conversation also has to change. And when I tell you about changing, and I'm fortunate enough, بحكي مع كثير طلاب, and a lot of them come to me and they say, they ask for advice. What do you think we should focus on? هلا بالجامعات بيعلموهم the very important things. They are basic computer science, computer science concepts that they have. بس كمان and while we push on universities to provide them with more information, and students provide, كمان students go out there and they go out and they try to teach themselves things. But when they come and they ask me, what is it that we should do? My immediate answer is look at cloud computing, because it is changing and transforming the world. أنا حتى بالأردن قبل صار لي 3 سنين، قبل 3 سنين قعدنا مع إنتاج، right? حكينا, we said, if we want a future investment للأردن where حتى the human resources الكادر اللي عم تطلع من الجامعات should focus on one thing, we said it was cloud computing, and it's here. It's here now, and Microsoft has been doing a lot of work with university students. But the point is, I want to draw your attention in what's the importance of cloud computing, and what are the key attributes. So when we say the discussion is changing, it's changing to what? What are those attributes that are changing, and then what are the benefits that are coming from them? So let's start with pooled resources, as you say. As it's here. Pooled resources معناته إنه listen, we can buy any kind of resources, whether it's hardware, whether it's CPU power and it's memory, and we just want to put it in a pool. We don't want to care about, we just put it in, and then we're going to let the IT system itself figure out, if somebody needs more hard disk, it knows I'm going to go there, I'm going to get more hard disk space, and I'm going to provide it for this application and for this user. I need more memory. Automatically, it brings in more memory for those applications. Self-service. This is self-service. The system itself serves you. It's set up to automatically start providing these type of services. So it knows when you need more, and it provides it to you. As an IT professional, you do not have to worry anymore about sitting down and say, بدهم كمان, I have to go, I have to install it, ولازم أنادي من هون, ممكن شغلة تخرب وما تخرب, تأثر على another application. You don't need that. One of the most amazing concepts is the concept of elastic and elasticity. And I want you to pay attention to this one, because nobody provides this, with the exception of Microsoft. Imagine, you're a business, you have your hardware, that's running, it's running your external facing web. And all of a sudden you come up on an idea and you make some marketing campaign, a nice marketing campaign. But you don't realize how great of a marketing campaign this was. And people start flocking to the website. Erin, I want. All of a sudden, the utilization of your data center is under stress. Needs a volume. How do we deal with this? Stressed. 500 server not available errors. كله عم بطلع شمال يمين. This is a problem. طب what do we do? Well, you know what? Before we run the next campaign, let's go ahead and do let's upgrade all of our servers. Is that the solution? You want to upgrade your service? كل مرة يكون عندكم campaign. Is your spending, if you talk to the CFO, will the CFO allow for a spending for you to reach and ensure that you're hitting the peak, and whenever you have a peak? And how much does that peak cost? Imagine this. All of a sudden, you're running your infrastructure right now. The peak, بيجي, it hits. Right? زي المثال استخدمته. All of a sudden, your application itself shifts from your data center and goes into the public cloud offered by Microsoft. So the public cloud of Microsoft, where now access to all computing power is right there. Automatically. You hit that spike, it goes up, it utilizes that. The spike ends, application shifts back to your own data centers. Shuhada, what does that mean? It means we don't have to worry about spending money so that we can always account for the highest peaks that are available. Imagine the cost savings of just having to deal with that, hopefully not a big momentary, but that 1 to 2 days when a campaign is running, when it uses it and goes down. And then you have the whole notion of usage-based. Usage-based is that, I'm going to use the resources as I need them, right? أنا شفت علي أنت عم تحكي 2 minutes and I'm seeing 22 minutes and I have 40. Anyways, all right. So right now there's so what are the benefits of this? So I already touched on this. So there's a focus aspect. What do we mean by focus? We're going to allow the IT people to actually focus on the actual business that needs to actually that needs to happen, right? We are going to focus on providing service level agreements. As IT people, it's a service level agreement on an application, not a service level agreement on the hardware. It is saying, we can go to market a lot faster because we can provide that information. We don't have to worry about going through purchase cycles. And this introduces the whole notion of agility. And the business now is agile. Business, government, doesn't matter. Agility. We can now provide our services to the people who we care about faster. And then the economics of it. The underlying economics of all of this is still that virtualization. It still runs and utilizes the pool of resources that we already have. This is the whole notion of cloud power. Cloud power is what Microsoft is saying. We want to provide you with the power through the cloud. Let's roll the video.
How everyone works.
Without changing how everyone works.
I can turn a spike in demand into a joyride.
I can expand overseas, overnight.
I can take apps live in 15 minutes.
I am master and commander of my own private cloud.
I am the champion of a corporate culture of yes. I have cloud power.
I have cloud power.
I have cloud power.
The most comprehensive solutions for the cloud on Earth from Microsoft.
What does all this mean? So today we want to give this cloud power to all the users that are out there, all the people and the businesses that need it, right? So it's about new. So when we say what is new, it's not about doing the exact same thing in a new way. No, it is really about starting to focus on business needs. How do we address the business needs? And to give you an example, small company, شركات صغيرة أول ما تطلع, they have to have IT. Nobody can now really survive and really produce without really having IT. IT provides a competitive edge. The lack of it destroys the company. How can you not communicate? That's where the power of IT comes in, right? But it's a small business and you want to provide IT right now. أول شيء بيجوا الناس and it's like, let me tell you, listen, you have to buy this server مع هاي المواصفات, everything. Say, wow. When you all buy electricity, do you get a presentation on how turbines work? Whether it's steam or nuclear or whatever it is? Do you care? Right? You want IT. I want the service. I just want to plug it in and move. So that's for a small business. About large businesses. Large businesses, I have people and partners, customers all around the place. Whether it's regional, whether it's global, they just exist. And what I want to do is to provide them with the right solutions, with the right messaging, with the right capabilities, with the application. I want to get to those customers. It's also about it being, the power of choice and being comprehensive. What do I mean by comprehensive? All right, so we have a revolution that's coming, we don't want to change everything in one go. I want, as a business owner, or as an IT manager, or as a developer, I want the choice. I want to know where I'm going. I want to move according to the way I want to do it and the way that makes sense for me. So that is the power of choice. You want to run it as a private cloud. You get all of the world, big bells and whistles of everything. But right now it's just private. I'm not ready for any reason, for many reasons. Some of the reasons can be, wallahi, a matter of policy. I cannot host certain things in the cloud. They have to be here. But still, I want all the benefits that comes from that. So that's private cloud. But you know what? As a matter of policy, I could potentially move my email into the cloud. I want to move my email to the cloud. Or I have some public web service or some public web application. That's okay. I want to have it. I can have it even as a matter of policy in the cloud. But I want to keep my data in my data center. All right. So now we're talking about a hybrid type of solution. And the last thing is we want to talk about is the power of experience. All these years, many of you have been learning and you know about the technologies that have come from Microsoft. Windows Server, from Windows machines, from Office, from everything. You have all of these experience of managing and doing all of this stuff. Do you want to all of a sudden change and say, well, khalas, yalla, we're going to start from scratch and learn everything? I love change, right? And I love change from the aspect of learning and to know what's out there. But the practical aspect is that, no, I want to always build on the investments that I have already put in. And that is the stuff that Microsoft provides through the cloud. You can still retain the experiences in everything that you have. So let's talk about this. So what is it that Microsoft offers? As I said, we offer the public cloud and we offer the private cloud. Do you see all of these things here? So SQL Server, Microsoft Office, Dynamics, even your third-party applications, all built on top of Windows Server. Right? All these things that you know. And if you take a look at the public cloud, you look at Windows Azure. Right? This is the infrastructure as a service and platform as a service at the same time. All right? So it provides you with the space and the things that you need on demand. Then you have Office 365, all the collaboration suites, the entire collaboration suite, including even using Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint, all through the browser, all the different devices اللي حسني كان عم بحكي عنها. But there has to be a link, right? So what's the link? What is it, everything that can tie all of these together? Well, obviously we have a commonality, and the commonality in identity. Think of it, let's suppose you have a Hotmail account. Hotmail itself, it runs on its own. You have your Hotmail ID. But you have your ID كمان بالمكتب. That's a problem, right? No, okay, yes, private, public and private. Wouldn't it be great? But as I shift, if I shift my corporate email and I put it in the cloud, I don't want to have another ID that I want to remember. For all of the stuff is already built into Active Directory, where it's the same ID that takes you from your corporate directory, and even into the cloud. Same thing, virtualization, elasticity. It's running in the virtual environment. I hit a spike, boop, goes up into the cloud, runs in another virtual environment. Private, public, everything. You manage it. And then, if we want to talk about, development. The more you want to use the same, you've been all developing in a specific language for so many years, and you want to build on top of that. You want to access the newer capabilities of it, but you don't want to lose everything else and start learning from scratch again. So again, .NET Command provides that link between all of them. So let's talk about the difference and what do we offer versus what other people who provide cloud offerings. So on the left-hand side here, all right. So this is software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. If you take a look at Google is a global provider, right? Great company. They provide software as a service in terms of their email and in terms of some of their productivity solutions. They've also gone into the platform as a service through their Google their app engine. They're getting into that. However, it's only there. It's there. It's in their data centers. There's Salesforce.com, right? You heard of Salesforce.com? So they provide their CRM-based type of solutions, command, all just hosted in their data centers, in their cloud, somewhere in the internet. Then you have Amazon. What does Amazon do? Amazon provides infrastructure as a service. Okay, I want hardware, I want this, I want to have all of these things available under the public cloud that's available out there. So they're outside. And they are also getting into the platform as a service. So where are some of the other players? VMware and Oracle. VMware and Oracle work mainly with service providers and customers. So customers, service providers. It means they don't have and run their own data centers. Some of them are trying to get into that. Oracle, some new acquisitions of some companies that they want to integrate within their portfolio, but still early on. But they haven't taken that and have shown proof of how they can run that even at a global scale. I'm saying global scale, right? So where does this leave? Where does Microsoft fit in? Microsoft fits in everywhere. We provide the solution and the choice to take you from whether it's a customer, whether it is through a service provider, which is some of the stuff that we're doing with Umnia, as them being providing these services as a service provider, and also to the Microsoft public cloud. And why do we do that? Because there is a reason for people to choose certain things. Sometimes they say, we don't want as a customer to build our own data center, yet we do not want our information to be, or this stuff to be running on the Microsoft stuff because we have regulatory reasons. So a service provider is a beautiful fit, and they can provide all of this stuff out of the country. And as there are questions that have come up, right? Everyone starts to think about more cloud. So what's going to happen? What are some of the top questions that come up and are being asked? First one, is it secure? Microsoft is committed to security. You should go out there and actually read about the threats, the number of threats that Microsoft faces versus our competitors. We are best in class. This started with a trustworthy computing about more than 10 years ago. And trustworthy computing has taken us to some amazing levels. We provide physical and logical data protection. Our data centers are all ISO 27001 certified. And we have leading security architects and a great deal of experience in security from all the enterprise work that we have done. The question is now, how do we gain, will we gain more productivity? Well, of course. Think of it. You're going to access your information anywhere, anytime, whenever you want, right? Anywhere and anytime. Access to the information that you want without running the risks of actually failure of getting to this to these areas. IT is going to become simplified. We're simplifying IT. You don't have to worry about these issues about hard disks and memory and configuration and deployment. You know, all these things are going to be managed for you. What about compliance? The most important thing, Hone, we have experience in managing government customers. So we deal with governments, and at the same time deal with all of their compliance issues. Plus, we have done a lot of work with highly regulated industries. What's the phone industry, the telco industries? Say in the U.S. You're talking about some of the services industries. All of these things we've worked with. Plus, what we tell you, if you have compliance items and regulatory issues that you have to also deal with Microsoft can enter into direct negotiations with you and find the solution and create the solution that suits your needs. This is our commitment. And the question is, hey, will I have control even if my data is actually sitting out there? Simple as this. And remember this. You own your data. Microsoft does not look into that data. We don't data mine. We don't dig inside to find out, what are your profiles, and we do not use that information to support our other commercial methods such through advertising. We don't do that. And then the other question, what about my existing applications? Will they still work? If you have Active Directory, after the Active Directory will work now, and it will work in the cloud. You have things that you built on .NET, it will work now, and will work into the cloud and can be extended to the cloud. All of your investments are already taken care of. So, cloud has received a lot of press, right? So IDC, they forecast, they said $55 billion is going to be spent on IT as a service in 2014. This is a compound annual growth rate of 27.4%. Shaif Ayman, when we were talking with Intaj, we were saying, what do we want to tap into? That's what we want to tap into. Forrester says the economics of this is here to stay. The economics of what the cloud provides you is here to stay. And then Gartner says that in the next 5 years, get this, so for technology providers, in the next 5 years, enterprises will spend $112 billion on IT as a service. And that will be a saving. And they will be saving. And they will be spending that money. So the question is it a hype? Where are we? Right? What has happened? What has happened in the past year? Well, let's take a look. Valorem is a Microsoft partner in the US, and in the past 12 months they have seen a huge increase in the adoption of online solutions, especially the ones coming from Microsoft. Who knows Intuit? Intuit? Intuit is a they provide personal financial services. Keep track of your records and everything. Right? They are a $3.2 billion revenue company. They have moved their applications to Windows Azure. They offer that to the cloud. Government. In the US, Centeractive has worked with the government to provide things such as town hall meetings, again, collaboration. They have worked on something called the recovery.gov. This company didn't want to worry about how do I get hardware and purchase hardware and put that hardware in there. They wanted to immediately start providing the type of solutions that are needed now. Recovery.gov. They want to recover. They have issues. Recovery when it comes to their economy, their discussions. They want to hear from the people. They want to provide it now. They don't want to wait 6 months to hear from the people on what's going on. They want it now. And that's what they did. So is it a hype? How could it be? How could it even potentially be a hype? Let's take some other examples. Who knows about Godiva chocolates? Godiva chocolates. Chocolates. Yeah, chocolates, Godiva. By the way, do you know Godiva was actually initially owned by a soup company, Shorava. They made chocolates, right? Eventually they sold them. They sold them to a Turkish company. So actually, it's a Turkish company that now owns Godiva. Well, I think that's nice. Turkish company to actually own it. So the question became, we have that they used to run their solution, like their email and their productivity solution was run on Notes, right? The old version of Notes when they were with Campbell. Now the question was, what is it that they can do? People liked the productivity aspect of what was coming from Microsoft. They liked Office 2010. They liked Outlook. They liked the way they can actually see and manage and organize their business. So the question became, On the older platform, they just did not get all of the things that they actually needed for their business. So what should they do? Their options was they upgrade all of Notes into their latest technologies, and also use Microsoft Outlook. This required them to upgrade their hardware, upgrade their software, pay licenses, right, to enable them to do that. The other point was, okay, so what about, do we use Exchange and Microsoft Exchange on-premise and with Outlook 2010? Well, that's the same issue. You want to load, or you want to upgrade to Exchange, that's the same thing. Hardware, you have to do a reconfiguration of everything. Then they looked at what was called at that time, now it's called Office 365, is the Business Productivity Online Suite. Microsoft, we've had some issues with some naming conventions, right? So we haven't been as nice as iPad. But maybe with Office 365, we're a lot better than Business Productivity Online Suite version 2.0, right? So they decided to take a look at the Microsoft Online services, and they decided to go with that. So they ended up working with a Microsoft partner, because we work through partners. The partner model, training our partners and having the partners implement the best-in-class type of software is the way we work. So what happened at that time is that they had an offering. Okay, the offering was so a weekend. This is the weekend offering, which is a weekend migration plan, and it included moving all of their employees, including another 500 smartphone users, over the weekend. They moved them all from Notes into Office 365, or BPOS at that time. And what are the things that happened? What are the responses? So they said, you know what? It's familiar and consistent user experience. This is what we know. It's what we see. It's the Office that we have. We don't have to retrain all of that. $250,000 in annual savings. And certainly a faster response to the business. They were up and running. They got what they needed from IT over the weekend. More user satisfaction, more productivity. Always remember, more user satisfaction, more productivity. So there's another case study, and this is going to be the last case study, but it's an important one, and it's about an airline company, Aer Lingus. Let's roll it.
Aer Lingus is a 10 million passenger carrier airline. We fly passengers all over Europe, UK, United States. We also connect passengers from Europe and UK to the United States and onwards into Canada as well. We are about 80%, in excess of 80% online now, and online solutions are a very important part of our business. The airline industry is a very competitive environment. As we add more and more new routes, we struggle to find means to connect with our passengers and show them what routes we're serving.
Many of the route maps out there at the moment are simply static route maps. They're either images or they show the routes, but then there's nowhere to go.
The challenges in implementing a model like route mapping for us are, one, it is a solution that can be intensive on bandwidth into our data center, and two, we're looking for companies who are agile and responsive to the needs of Aer Lingus. We want to deliver solutions quickly, and we want to deliver with partners that have specialist skills that we may not have or want to have going forward.
Aer Lingus came to us looking for a dynamic route map solution. The need was for a route map that could deliver revenue. At iPlanet, we evaluated a number of other cloud providers, but we found that the richness and fullness of the Microsoft pure platform as a service offering was really the only one that matched and ticked all the boxes for us.
We chose Windows Azure because it enabled us to provide a highly reliable, scalable, robust and high-performing solution. With Windows Azure, we built a front-end map delivery mechanism using Silverlight and a back-end Azure-based route and airport management tool. The back-end tool can be used for taking care of airports, locations, and such. And also we use it to import existing routes and schedule data and publish the map to the front end quickly.
Our dynamic route map solution basically shows our passengers what routes we fly and gives them an interactive means to get into our booking flow, which is our primary means of distribution.
Using our route map, we provide a link straight into the booking flow, which enables customers that use the route map to drive bookings and thereby driving revenue for Aer Lingus. Many airline websites show the destinations that they fly to either via a static image or some type of route map. But none of them really give the facility that dynamicroutemaps.com offers, in that customers can very quickly click on a city, show the destinations that the airline, for example Aer Lingus, fly to from that city, and then have the facility to book directly from the route map. And that's what's really important to the clients such as Aer Lingus, in that the dynamic route map is driving revenue and bringing customers directly into the booking flow. This is something that hasn't been done to date.
Now, with the dynamic route map on the cloud, we no longer have to worry about the volumes or the peaks that may result from the traffic of passenger searches on our maps. We can focus on our core business of booking airline tickets. The cloud was important for us for the dynamic route mapping solution because it enabled us to offer an interactive solution to our customers without burdening our data center with bandwidth needs. With the dynamic route mapping solution and with iPlanet, we found that we have delivered a solution that is easy for our people in Aer Lingus to use. We can add new routes, we can add new partner airlines with great ease. We've recently added routes to Canada, we've expanded our network in the United States with our partner airlines JetBlue and United. So this is very easy for Aer Lingus to do, and it's very simple for our people without any great requirement for time or effort.
DynamicRouteMaps.com offers the facility for Aer Lingus to deploy multiple maps to multiple affiliate sites. This means that if they make an update within the administrative tool within DynamicRouteMaps.com, they make one change and that gets deployed on their own site, but also throughout the affiliate sites in just one publishing. We've got 20,000 tile images that need to be delivered to multiple clients throughout the world at regular intervals throughout the day. So by storing these data objects in the cloud, it means that clients such as Aer Lingus or other airlines don't need to worry about impacting on their infrastructure or their bandwidth.
We saw the attractiveness of the cloud as the solution for Aer Lingus. We took comfort in the fact that Microsoft are a provider of cloud solutions for a number of well-known brands worldwide. For us and our business, because online is such an important part, that was a great source of comfort and assurance for Aer Lingus. Because of the Aer Lingus route network and our dependence on Ireland, and also the fact that we have considerable presence in the US, the fact that Microsoft have data centers in Ireland and US is also a positive for us.
iPlanet invested heavily in Windows Azure due to the fact that we saw great leadership within Microsoft.
We found the Microsoft and iPlanet relationship to be very beneficial for Aer Lingus, and we look forward to future developments and future innovations with iPlanet and with Microsoft in the future. We've shown with this Aer Lingus solution that we can deploy practical and real-time solutions that will give real customer benefit.
So just to summarize, they needed a solution. Who actually just are curious and they just want to look in there, and they wanted to find out how they can actually access and get to those and get to those people. So they wanted to provide a solution that lets them look around, to experiment, to see, where am I going? Can I go here? Give me the latest routes. How long is it going to take? What's the fare? They wanted to capture that, but it was a bet. Now, did they want, now, if they're going to provide this service, they had to expand their data centers. Did they want to expand their data centers? Well, it's a risk. These are not buyers. You don't know whether they are buyers just now. You need another solution to at least minimize the cost effect on you. The other thing, you want to be able to utilize some of the existing infrastructure that you have. So they already had some maps. They just wanted to make it more interactive and let users play around with that. Right, so at the end of the day, so they used the existing route map, and that all was developed on, get this, on PHP. And they took it to Windows Azure. PHP and other languages also run on Windows Azure, right? We are not limited. We are an interoperability type of company. They enabled that, they added on top of that using .NET, SQL Azure, and Windows Azure to provide the services that you just saw, and this is the front end that you have. So, cost-effective, scalability, improved service offerings for the customers. They reduced the bandwidth needs because they just took it to a public data center, and increased opportunities with a trustworthy solution. I want to tell you this, right? And when we talk to you about elasticity or having access to the resources, if you're an airline company, the last thing you want as an experience for the user is for your computer system to crash, right? So what are the next steps? What are the things that you want to do? First of all, we have our partners. We have some great partners here that know all about our virtualization technologies. They know all about our private cloud technologies. They are here. They're with you. Also, as Husni said, any of the ones who are actually, so all the ones wearing Microsoft, please ask them, and they can also point you to places. Microsoft.com. Go to Microsoft.com, you can visit. We have all this information that you need, plus all of the case studies. These are only a few of the case studies that we have, and there are a number of them. Contact a partner and get started. So there's another link of how you can contact that partner. The other thing is that we have sessions, right? Different type of sessions. Go to these sessions. We have sessions for developers. We have sessions for IT owners. We have all of these different ones. So we have sessions for private cloud, public cloud, productivity. Go and see them. This is what Open Door is for. And lastly, so here are all the sets of products that are cloud enabled. If you want to find more information about them, please visit that one. So I tell you, first of all, welcome to Microsoft Open Door. We are so happy that you're here. And the other thing, welcome to the future. It's here. Go cloud.
Thank you, Zeid. Next up.